Strap yourself in, look more prohibited and available in the state of Shock.
Hi, this is Nicko McBrain on Drum Talk TV, and I'm here with Dan Schinder. We're going to talk about all the great stuff you've been up to lately with Iron Maiden and anything else you want to talk about. How are you?
Let's do that again. Yeah, you can have this back, you old bugger. You completely confused me there. Hang on. No, off we go.
So here we are on Drum Talk TV. I'm very happy to be sitting with Nicko McBrain. Big fan. I remember when you joined Iron Maiden. I had seen the first two tours that they came through Southern California with Clive Burr.
Right.
And when they made an announcement that they had a new drummer, and I heard your name, that guy who did all that crazy stuff with Pat Travers back in the day, I don't think a lot of people know about that. What was it like back then with Pat?
Well, it was the 70s, wasn't it? I know I lived it because, I know. I can't really remember the 70s, man. I know it was that. No, it was great. It really was. I had 2 albums with Pat. I did 2 years with him. Unfortunately, it ended under a bit of under a cloud, and it took me quite a few years to kind of forgive him and to talk to him again. And the great story today is, and we're actually playing a gig on the 2nd of March this year together. It's going to be myself, Pat, and Mars Cowlin, the original.
Mars too? Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to tell you about it, because having had Bad Blood for so many years, we made our piece here at the NAMM show 12 years ago. So
that's great to hear on so many levels. I mean, forgiveness is such a empowering thing, and once you get past it, I think it empowers yourself first. And now look what you're doing with him.
Yeah, and of course, and he's a great guy. We've played a few times together over the last 10 years or so, and just jams, and so we're actually putting 4 or 5 songs together to do at this charity event, and I'm really looking forward to that. But it was a wonderful 2 years we had together, 2 great records. And of course, Putting It Straight we made up at Eastern Sound in Toronto in '77, and it was a wonderful experience. And of course, that was a great time. Yeah.
Great. Are you able to say what the charity is so that I can help spread the word? I'll put the graphic on the screen.
Yeah, it's called Children's Place at Home Safe. It's really it's for children from broken homes, and mum and dad split up, or they go to jail, or something happens, the children lose their parents. And they take the children in until they're 18, and they get them job placements, look after them, education and whatnot. Non-charitable, non-profit charity organisation.
Okay. Give to this great cause. That's great. My wife was a foster care mother for years and years and years. She, I think, still holds the record as who was the youngest foster care mother in New York. And so we're real big on that. I do some work with Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Foundation as well, which is for, the at-risk teens and everything like that. So it's great to hear that you're doing that. Speaking of Alice Cooper, do you play any golf with Alice?
Oh, yeah. I give him a good doing every time we go out.
Good. I play.
Well, I've got to tell you real quick, right, about Alice, right? When we go out together, we're dear old chums. Anyway, when we go out, we play what's called Cooper rules. Yeah.
I'm almost afraid to ask. Wait, is it something you can say on camera?
Yeah, okay. It's like, it don't matter what you score on the first hole, you put down a 4, okay? Unless somebody birdies the hole, then you got to go with it. So we make sure people can't birdie the hole. And then you have what's called a rock star mulligan. And when we were a rock star mulligan, it's like if you hit a bad shot, you redo it, you reload it. And I remember when he was in the sand trap. We were playing at Turnberry Isle in Fort Lauderdale a couple of years ago, and he says, "Oh, rock star mulligan." And I went up to him and I said, "Can I have one of them?" And he just stood there and looked at me and said, "What do you think?"
I play, and I don't play that often, but I play in like the low 70s Fahrenheit. If it gets warmer than that, I don't play.
I was just going to say, hang on a minute.
And my favorite hole is the windmill hole.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah. And my handicap, of course, is my swing.
Oh,
so what is up with the longevity of Iron Maiden, other than the obvious answer that it's just great music? What is it that keeps you guys going? It's such a tight unit family. The material, it's so prolific with so much material, and the fan base just keeps growing. Now you're into generations of fans. What's the secret? What do you think the answer to that is?
Oh, it's just the love and the passion for what we do. It was never about fame and fortune. Although it has gone hand in hand for us. So the motivation that everybody had prior to Maiden becoming an iconic band was the passion and love for the instrument and music. And our genre of music, what we play. I mean, we're a hard rock band. I mean, my manager hates me when I say that to people. I mean, we classed as heavy metal, but we're not. In my book, that's not true. We're a heavy, progressive, hard rock band.
I agree.
And
1000%.
so we all grew up with the blues and Zeppelin and the Stones. That was our teenage years were influenced by these wonderful bands that came, the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Vanilla Fudge. All these bands coming out, and so I mean, their influences upon us show. You can see this in our music, and we just love doing what we do, and we love one another. I'm not afraid to say that. I'll show my feminine side. No tongue, no. No, we love what we do, and we've got a great crew. We've got a beautiful management. Rod Small and Andy Taylor. Rod had managed the band since '79. I've known Rod actually, funny enough, before I joined Pat Travers. I played in a band called Streetwalkers, and Rod was tour managing Cockney Rebel.
Oh, wow.
Right, and we actually did a show with them at the Bottom Line in New York when I first met Rod in 1974. So
you mentioned a great element to your music, Nicko, and that is that it is progressive.
Yeah.
I've really always thought of your music as progressive rock. It just has a different edge to it. Do you think that's a big part of what differentiates what you do as a hard rock or heavy metal band or whatever anyone wants to classify you, differentiates you and helps with that longevity and sets you guys apart?
The passion has to be there, obviously, right? But what it makes us, I think, apart is the songwriting. Good tunes. I mean, we can all play. That's obvious, but. Steve Harris is the most prolific writer in the band, and his writing is just anthemic. It's just, excuse me, that's my phone. Let me just check if that's the
We're
one.
getting calls already. If it is, tell her we said hi.
It's Kelly Peisty. I'll call her back. So you've got the basis is in the foundation of the songwriting, and there's 5 great songwriters in the band. I mean, I have written a song only once because I'm a lazy bugger. I like to go play golf rather than sit and write songs. But I'll leave that to the guys that know what they're doing. I think that's really the passion for what we do, the love of what we do, the great songwriting. Because if you haven't got a good song, no matter how good you are, you're never going to get it. You won't make it. I mean, so with the chemistry of, as I was saying about the management and the crew and the team and everybody that's behind the band, that's very important too. And the old saying, "You're only as strong as your weakest link." Well, we try not to have a weak link, and that's where the organisation of everything coming together works so well. And that's what I think it is. It's really the passion and the branding of Iron Maiden is its music and its writing prowess.
And it's very clear to see the passion exuding from you when you play. All the guys, but I've never seen a photo of Nicko McBrain where you're not smiling while you're playing the drums. That's the face I always see. I love it. It's so happy. It's and it is happy-go-lucky music after all, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, you obviously got to be on top of your game. I mean, because it's not easy stuff. It's not straight four to the bar and 1, 2, 3 off you go and foxtrot down the way. But the thing is, that's my domain. That's where I, when I learnt my drums when I was 12, 10, 11, 12, I was playing biscuit tins, got drums, and I got the passion then, and I still have it. And I think that truly. We know the stories in the industry where you get great players and they just don't tend to be able to be fortunate enough to make a living at it. That is very difficult, and I've been blessed in the fact that I didn't give up. And then of course I fell into this gig with Maiden in 1982, and it's just if you'd have asked us in 1992 what we would be doing in 2013, we'll probably say, well, be lucky to be alive, really, won't we? But it's been so phenomenal, and the passion, as you said, you see it in the faces, and everybody loves what they do. Even when we make mistakes now, we have a laugh at it. In the old days, it used to be, what the heck was that?
And you're past the biscuit tin phase because now we're at Premiere.
Exactly.
You're with a great brand of drums. Talk about your equipment a little bit. Enlighten our viewership of over 70 countries of why Premiere. Why Premiere?
Premiere. Well, Premiere. You say it funny over here, you lot.
Teach me. It should be
Premiere.
Premiere.
Yeah.
Premiere.
That's not
Premiere.
It's like
Premiere.
Jaguar. There's no fucking W in Jaguar, mate. Is there? Come on.
Jaguar.
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 Well, of course, you know, biscuit tins to my first drum kit actually was a Sonor. I bought a Sonor kit. Then I went out after that and bought a George Hayman 5-piece kit. And then I went back to a Sonor. I was with Sonor for, I think, 19 years. And then things didn't go too well for me. And I had a friend of mine who worked with Premiere in the 80s, a guy called Steve Jordan, and he was really instrumental in bringing me to Premiere in '93, although it wasn't many years had gone by since we first met one another. My son, actually, who was 4 years old, is that right, Karen? He was 4, wasn't he? He was 4.5 years old, is the youngest Premiere endorsee ever.
Wow, we got to have him on.
You should do, my son Nicholas. Now, he's not a professional player yet, he's not working in a professional band at the moment.
That's okay. We do have artists on in a section of our site called Hidden Gems, and it's anybody that has any kind of story that any other drummer can learn from, because the premise of this show is that no matter your level of fame or style of play, not all lessons come from behind a drum kit or a practice pad. We learn from each other like this from discussion, just like we do in life. So I'd love to talk to him about it.
Please do. He'd love to. He's 30 now, and he still has a Signia Premiere. But to get back to the question, so in '93 I moved brands to Premiere, and it was basically Steve Jordan who influenced me to go there. We had a gentleman called Tony Doughty then, or Doherty, that was running Premiere, and I think Yamaha were involved. And then there was lots of changes since I joined Premiere. Now where we're at now, we've got a gentleman called Ken Tonkin, who's the president or chairman of the company. Craig Buckley's in here as the GM, and we've got this wonderful guy called Keith. What's Keith's surname? Keith Keogh. I always forget his surname. It's terrible. I used to call him Kevin, actually. But anyway, Keith is a master craftsman. And basically what's happened now is, and the reason why I love the brand so much is because it's the synergy of the company is immense. And everyone that's working with this brand now is doing it because of the love of the product, and there's tough times around it, obviously, as we know, but love of the product. And Keith has come in and he's given us this boost, as well as Craig and Ken, and Karen can vouch for this more because she's been there for 30 years, even before I came to the company.
And I just got to say, off camera is Karen Whitelem, who's the international sales manager. So thanks for your input on that. Yeah, great information.
Here because I get my timelines around the wrong way. But and she more than anyone knows what's been going on internally. But now what's happening is the synergy is just immense. It really is. And the brand, what's happening is it's all these ideas are flying about. We do have some money to be able to do R&D, if you like. And there's such a wonderful selection of product coming back out with this company, with exotic woods. John Good's done that with DW and other drum companies as well. But we've got our own take on things, and the quality of the drums is off the chart. And the hardware, we've finally got the hardware where it needs to be on the 6000 series and whatnot. And I'm just very proud to be a part of the family, and we've got all kinds of nice new stuff coming out. We've got Nickos Sicko snare drum. There's an Aces High limited edition snare drum. It's called Sicko because it's made of sycamore wood.
Oh, nice.
So, people go, why do you call it Sicko? So it's appropriately sycamore wood. So. And it's part of it's a maple family, so it's got a lot of great characteristics in the tone.
I'm sorry, is that the drum that you were showing the young man during the signing when you got up? And to explain really this man's passion, he was signing autographs for people out there, signing posters, and a gentleman had a question about the line, and Nicko jumped off his stool, ran back, and he's banging on drums with his hand. He's picking them up off, and I'm dropping in the picture right now because I took pictures of you doing that. And that's great. When you have pride in the product that you play and you represent, it says a lot for the brand. And yeah, and you mentioned something about their company culture, just the pride that they're taking in the products and everything like that. That's the reason that puts the most quality into products, I believe. You can put all the money and everything into research and development and marketing and all that, but when everyone loves what they do and the synergy, like you said, is there, that's when you get great products, and then everything else comes with it.
It does. It does. The industry, there's well, Premiere is 90 years old. Like, well, it's 91. It's going its 91st year. It was 1922. It was formed, Delaporte family. In Leicester. I think it was Leicester originally, wasn't it? It was London first, that's right, and they went off to Leicester. There you go, so happy Cameron's here. Well, you know, they were truly British, you know, they made the greatest marching snare drums in the world, they still do. Timpanis were very iconic as well in that mix, as well as just the traps kits and whatnot. And great British craftsmanship, you know, which kind of, since the Second World War, it all kind of went a little bit. So the Germans became the engineer masters of the world, and the Japanese came in as the imitators of them. Yeah. And so a lot of the English craftsmanship kind of went away, whereas we were known as the greatest craftsmen people in the world before the war, Second World War. So now what's happened is we're trying to bring it all back to being made in England. Now, the top of the line, the Elite series shells are made in England now, or will be, and the Sicko kit, or the snare drums, and then we're going to do a Nicko McBrain model, and what's called, can we tell them? No. All right. No.
But when you're able to tell us, he will, and we'll have him back on.
This is something we're in researching and developing. So but it's going to all be made in England. So what I'm getting to is it's going to come back into Great Britain.
Hometown craft.
Homegrown, as they say. Well, we're in California. We better watch out what we say with that, and we.
In Colorado, it wouldn't matter.
So we're really proud of the fact that, along with the whole forward-thinkingness with everybody in the upper management, within it. Well, there's not really any upper management as such. I mean, everybody's on the same page here, Of course, you've got your boss, but with that, we're really concentrating on bringing the handcrafted drum back into England. It's off the chart. It really is, and. So we're really proud that things, and as I said, the industry, the vibe in the industry here alone this year at NAMM about Premiere products is getting really exciting.
Absolutely, and your face lights.
Even John Good, I was talking to John Good this morning before I came to sign, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he said, "You got a new guy, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "He reminds me of you, John," and he was very flattered by it, And we were talking about the difference in exotic woods and grain structure within the drum, whether it's straight across or angled. It's really fascinating, and I'm learning. After playing drums for almost 50 odd years. I'm getting the learning curve of what goes into making the drum.
Well, I was going to say, you really light up when you talk about the brand and the product, and it says so much. It must be really exciting to be an artist, not only playing an exceptional brand, but to be an artist and be part of the process and be there and I presume have some input and just be a part of the brand.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Well, I mean we've got this GM, I suppose, or managing director of the company, Craig Buckley, he's a whirling dervish, and he comes up with all these ideas along with Colin and all the other guys within the company. And Keith goes out and he'll look him in a room, and 2 days later will come out with the brainstorm drum, and it's like, oh, that doesn't work. I'll let you go back in and have another go at something, It's so cool. It's just, it's really, it's just so great to be a part of it. And of course, with the the Sicko drum, make a sycamore. We'll be looking at designing a Nicko line in that wood, and it's great because it's indigenous to Great Britain. So it's like flying. Although I live in America, I'm still very patriotic. I'm not an expat by a long shot. So it's nice to know that we're going to be putting the Union Jack back on the flag of the best drum makers in the world.
That's great. Hey, I know you're pressed for time, so we're going to let you go for now, but we'll exchange information. I'll do another long-form interview with you online. We'll dig into some other things. We'll share notes. And everybody, Nicko McBrain, a drumming icon playing an iconic brand, Premiere. Is that better?
That's fine.
Okay. And you're watching us on drumtalktv.com. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more great interviews with great artists and people like Nicko. Thanks.